Hi there, welcome to Island Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Cancer energy. And for this round, we're going to use this 10 card spread, and we're going to read it from a couple different perspectives as usual, because not you might harness high vibe Cancer energy, regardless of what zodiac sun sign you are. But not everybody does. Some people harness a more worldly Cancer energy. Some people harness a more shadowy Cancer energy. Life's about learning lessons and kind of learning how to play nice with others and tempering your ego and your fear and your immaturity and your self-centeredness. And some people have learned more of those lessons than some other people in their life. And high vibe Cancer people are motivated by love, just and fair love. You know, that relationships are supposed to be just and fair. You're supposed to treat other people the way you like to be treated, and you're supposed to be authentic, not wearing a false mask. But some people do wear a false mask. They don't really want to be authentic and loving because they could get hurt doing that. And some people decide not to do it, and they let their ego kind of run their life, maybe all their life. And some people are more in love with the world. I love the world more than I love love. I want to indulge in these things of the world. They're more important to me. And they think maybe that those things will make them happier than operating from love. So the truth sets us free. We just need to see the truth. So listen to your intuition about where you're at in the story. Listen to your intuition about other people in your life in the story. And just accept the truth. You know, to see the truth of what drives and motivates people. Is it love or is it something else? And our dream can't come into reality if we want to build a foundation on love. Both people, or all the people in our life that we're working with closely in a relationship, have to discipline their more egoic, immature, defensive nature. And if they're not, they've made the free will choice not to do love. So anyway, let's get one more card out here. We'll have an extra. And then we're also gonna, I can't remember the name of this deck, but it's kind of like an oracle deck, so we'll see what that wants to add. We have the Thinking Man, which I view as the King of Swords, which is Libra energy, which is kind of like, you know, we're human beings. This person is looking at a crystal, but in a way we can all seem the same until you hold us up to the light, maybe. And that's when you can see the rainbow of colors and how some people have that creative, loving, nurturing, inspired spark about them because they are operating from love. There's some people right now who can't figure that out. I found something shiny. Why isn't it acting like the other loving people in my life? Because people have to align with that energy within themselves. Otherwise, you know, they're cloaking all of that and covering that up because their ego's running their life. So the King of Swords is Libra energy, and it has to do with what we think is just and fair. And the reason it came out is because of the journey. And the thing is, we come into contact with all these different people in the world to help us get clear about what our truth is and what we think is just and fair. And everybody's on this journey, and everybody's kind of has their own journey and their own lessons to learn and what lessons they need to learn, and the things that kind of manipulate them can be different than what manipulates us. We all can be manipulated by our fear and our insecurity and our pride and our ego and our lust and our greed. Some people are manipulated by their mind. Our mind and our emotions aren't meant to, we're not meant to be enslaved to them. We're meant to master our thoughts and our emotions. But some people are still really manipulated by their mind and their fear and their ego. I kind of view the King of Swords that the Thinking Man reminds me of. It can be a person's self-defensive nature. Like, we cannot let our more authentic, loving nature out in the world to play. It might get hurt. Okay. The overarching reason for the reading is the Eight of Pentacles, Virgo energy. It kind of talks about what our long-term goals are. Is it to be a King of Pentacles in the world where it's more about having the status or the image or indulgence? Otherwise, in high vibe, it would be about learning lessons in life, growing, healing, and maturing yourself to be free of things that manipulate you. And for some people, that's not what they're driven and motivated by, because it takes work and effort to grow and heal and mature yourself. You have to look at things you'd maybe rather keep hidden in the dark, and some people want to keep those things hidden in the dark. So, what's going on in Cancer energy? We have the Magician, the Five of Wands, and the Moon card. The Magician kind of can talk about, are we caught up in the illusion in the world? The Five of Wands can be competitive energy, ego energy. Some people are manipulated by their ego secretly, or they hide it. Some people try to create an illusion that they harness, like high vibe Libra, high vibe Virgo, high vibe Cancer, that they're these just and fair, insightful, mature, loving family people. But that can just be an illusion they create, because they want to be in relationships with people who are like that. They want to manifest looking like a boss in the world in some way. But it's really, they're very competitive in the world, but they try to keep that buried beneath the surface so that people don't see the truth. Like wearing a false mask. I'm a loving family person, but that really isn't what drives and motivates them. It could be more the ego, the image, the status. I just want to be in a relationship. Might be because I have a lot of inner conflict I don't deal with. Other people do believe they have the resources to manifest their dreams into reality. And then the Five of Wands can be that you're at a place of peace, not too much, tipped out of balance, and that you're listening to your intuition. I believe I can manifest in a balanced way. Yes, I want these things in the world. We're all kind of motivated and inspired to want these things in the world, but I'm going to go about it letting love and intuition guide me. I want to act like with character and integrity. I want a blend of both. And some people don't want a blend of both. They're tipped very heavily in their dualistic nature of free will. I'm more about me or more about these things of the world. And other people want a more balanced life. I don't need all these things of the world. When's enough enough? And I want loving, nurturing, supportive, encouraging people in my life. And I know that if I want that in my life, I have to grow up and heal and mature myself to be in relationships with people like that. And other people think, no, I can just create an illusion. I'm like bright and smart. I can just create this illusion that I'm just as stable and grounded and emotionally mature and loving as they are. But eventually people listen to their intuition and people find out the truth that there's like no substance to support how they present themselves in the world. Then we have the Strength card, the Queen of Cups, the Page of Cups, and the Eight of Pentacles. In high vibe, people have tempered their ego and they've learned to love like their own inner child nature, to be their own best mother, father, coach voice in their head, to quit being a more codependent energy where you're looking outside of yourself to other people to like mother you or father you because you haven't learned to do it within yourself. High vibe people have put in that work and effort. They've learned some lessons in life that some other people in their life haven't learned because the other people have inner conflict about dealing with those things that they keep hidden in the dark. I don't want to look at it. Virgo energy and high vibe is about doing that work to deal with those things we keep hidden in the dark. Seeing the truth, shedding light on them. Love and compassion and forgiveness. I'm a human being. I've made mistakes. I acted immature. I could have been bossy. I could have been egotistical. I could have been more about myself or indulging these things of the world. But I see how those things just caused me inner conflict. And I didn't want to keep repeating that pattern, so I did listen to my intuition, and I did temper my more worldly, beastly nature. And I kind of wondered, why do I do what I do? Do I love myself? Don't I love myself? Do I get myself involved in relationships with people who are more on a different page than me? Why do I keep getting in relationships with people who aren't motivated and inspired by the same things I am, who I might find manipulative, I might find prideful or competitive, secretive? Why do I keep getting in relationships with people like that? You got to work through these things to wrap your brain around this game of life. And some people did that work. I need to love me. That's where it needs to start. The Eight of Pentacles is going to the Nine of Pentacles. And high vibe energy is about being independent. I want to be independent of my more being manipulated by my more immature, egoic, fearful, insecure nature. I want to love myself. I'm going to put in this work and effort to be work through it so I can be free of it. So those things don't affect me, or the same ones I've been dragging around for 5 or 10 years. I'll have new ones coming up, but I want to work through those ones so that I can let those go. And then in the Fool card, that I can go on this new journey in life. I want to, the Nine of Cups talks about being emotionally independent. I want to learn to love myself, believe in my dreams, feel emotionally fulfilled within myself and in my life. And then in the King of Wands, King of Wands is Aries energy, which is about the self. I want to go on this journey of learning to love myself and being more independent and bold and brave and confident, so I can come together with others in joy and celebration in long-term emotionally fulfilling relationships. And it's realizing it starts within me. And some people haven't learned that lesson yet. And I think learning to love yourself is one of the hardest lessons to learn. And it can take decades of our life to learn how to love ourselves. And so there's a lot of people that still have a lot of inner conflict secretly and could be watching other people. We've all been there where we've watched other people. The Queen, the Strength card is looking at people. We've all looked at other people who seem more bold and brave and confident, more emotionally independent, know how to fill their own cup emotionally, are more bold and brave and confident than we've been at different times in life. And, you know, we could get in our ego about it. That's what the Strength card is, Leo energy. We all have the free will to get in our ego about it, be petty, envious, jealous, and say, I'm just going to ignore those people, and I'm going to keep kind of indulging my more immature nature, and I'm going to keep, in my shadowy Virgo energy, I'm just going to keep doing life the way I've done it. I just don't want to hang out with those people or think about those people, maybe get rid of those people, because it bothers me that they're more bold and brave and confident and independent and from things that manipulate me. And that's what some people are doing right now too. They know some people that are more independent than they are. And some of those people could admire some of those people. But instead of doing the work within themselves to figure out, why aren't they more independent? Why do they let things and people and the world manipulate them to make their life kind of more about these things of the world or what they indulge in? Why don't they become independent of those things? Sometimes people are very competitive in the world. They don't want to be more independent of the world. You know, being strong and high vibe Leo energy and high vibe Aries energy and Sagittarius, the fire sign energies, are about being more authentically yourself in the world, letting your light shine, being more bold and brave to live your authentic life. But we do grow up in the world in a lot of our life, especially like through junior high, or I mean, like junior high, high school, and maybe even college. You know, we really don't kind of want to stand out. We want, or it's kind of this life about conforming to the world. Which makes me think of that Bible verse. Don't conform to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. We're here to go on a journey of a lifetime, to grow to our full potential. And part of that journey is to appreciate our own unique talent, skills, and interests that might not be the same ways of living life or viewing life or things that you're driven and motivated by. You know, if you grew up, say, in a family where everybody's like doctors and lawyers, but you want to be an artist or a singer, it could be a gasp in the family if you said, well, I think I want to be a singer or an artist. It's like, oh, you know, honey, you're maybe not going to make money like what we make money, and you should really do this instead. And so then we can conform ourselves to the world, and we can have all this inner conflict because we're hiding the truth of being in relationships, being in jobs, doing all these things that really would, be aligned with our truth. But because we could be afraid of being judged, we just keep investing in our more emotionally immature worldly nature, and we keep staying in those jobs or those friendships or those relationships because we're unwilling to live our authentic life. So then we're kind of living a life of illusion instead of living our truth. Well, let's see, what else could be going on here? High vibe people believe they have the resources. They're maintaining balance within themselves, listening to their intuition, tempering their ego, loving themselves, believing in themselves. I look at the Page of Cups as offering peace to people in our past that, might not be moving forward with us at this time. And the people that are moving forward with us, like our adult children, our siblings, our parents, our friends, all the people we know in the world that we have to work with and we could hang out with and socialize at work, we wish everyone peace. Everybody's where they're at. We can't begrudge someone, oh, you're like a 25-year-old. Oh, you're like a 35-year-old. Oh, you're like a 45-year-old. We're somewhere on this spectrum, but we can offer everyone peace and love. I might not want to date any of those people. I might not want to marry any of those people. But I can offer love and respect and kindness and encouragement to people in all different walks of life. But I want to be more in a serious, more relationship with people who I think are more independent, willing to step out of their comfort zone or repeating this old pattern of being manipulated more by your fear or your ego or immature nature or codependent nature. I want to be in relationships with people who are more independent and bold and brave and confident to do love. And if other people, maybe just the same emotional maturity level. And I think some other people, we all kind of have our way of viewing life. Everybody has free will to live their life the way they want to live it. Some people will never be more independent in the world. They'll maybe never get out of more codependent relationships. Some people like codependent relationships. This can be like a parent and a child dynamic. I view myself as loving. I want to get in a relationship with someone who's more codependent, and then they look to me as a loving person. But I kind of like, I'm the boss. That would be, I kind of like indulging in being like a boss in control of people. And that's the type of relationship dynamic I like. It can be a problem in that type of relationship, which is kind of an imbalanced relationship, where one person is like, I'm the parent, you're the child, I'm the teacher, you're the student. Children end up rebelling against their parents. They want their freedom and independence. And if they are in a more imbalanced relationship, if the people they're in a relationship start to do this work within themselves to become more independent and bold and brave and confident, then sometimes the people they're in a relationship with, it really causes them a lot of inner conflict because the relationship dynamic has changed. Now it's kind of like, instead of me being the parent and you're the child, now you want a more peer-to-peer, equal give and take relationship. And some people don't like that type of relationship dynamic because then they would have to deal with some of their issues, like the teacher would have to become the student. I would have to learn some lessons to go to that next phase of life. And there's some things I would have to become independent, this way of viewing relationships. And if they like that relationship dynamic, they can seem loving and nurturing and all those good things in a relationship, but only until the people they're in a relationship with become healed from their issues. Well, then it could cause them a problem. And then they can kind of get in their ego and their competitive nature. Why did you free yourself from things I don't free myself from things. All these things that manipulate me still manipulate me. But you freed yourself. I don't like that. Because now the whole relationship dynamic would change. I can't kind of maybe take some foolish risks being kind of self-indulgent in a relationship where, before the scales of justice might have been tipped in their favor, where they were kind of indulged a little bit more in the relationship. And now, if other people heal and grow and mature themselves and are more independent and know their worth and value and appreciate what they bring to the table, they want the relationship to kind of grow and mature with them and for it to be a more inspired by love instead of kind of more about indulging someone. And that's when it causes a problem in a relationship. And that's when some of those people can turn their back. And some of those people right now that are in those mismatched relationships, the people in their life are kind of turning their back to them because you're not doing the relationship the way I want you to do it. And instead of being truthful and honest and just and fair, I'm going to try to manipulate you to try to get you to do what I want. And when we're in relationships like that, and we're kind of used to indulging people a little bit or a lot, kind of in their ego nature or manipulative nature or prideful nature, for a long time, people can keep repeating that pattern because we have to be willing to see the truth of it. And for a long time, it could cause us inner conflict, but we don't really want to deal with it because if we were to deal with it, maybe the relationship wouldn't work out or the job, and we would have to become independent of it and we'd have to stand up for ourselves. So for a long time, people can indulge people in poor behavior. But eventually the time comes where people can get tired of it. And, when we indulge people in poor behavior, it can get worse and worse and worse. They can become like, oh, well, gee, they're not going anywhere. I guess I can take more foolish risks. I guess I can be more indulgent. I can be more bossy and controlling. It's kind of like manipulating someone's love that they have for them. I know you love me. I know you want this dream to come into reality. I know you want this to work. And I feel because you love me and you're a very loving, nurturing person, I think I can take this risk to try to manipulate you to get you to do what I want. And people can do that for a while, but eventually, people do this work within them. And it's like, even though I might love you, I don't want to be in a relationship where I'm kind of indulging someone in their more immature nature. I want to be in a relationship with someone else who's more emotionally mature. And I've done some of this work within myself to believe in myself, to stand in my truth. And then people speak their truth, I think, in love to the people that they're in a relationship. I love you. I'd like to move forward with you in our friendship, in our family dynamic, in our romantic relationship, in this workplace. But I don't want to be treated like a child. I don't appreciate feeling like people are trying to control me or in shadowy Leo manipulate me. I do have my own unique talent, skills, and interests, and my own dreams. The Nine of Cups and Pisces is about the dreams that we have and what we find would bring emotional fulfillment in our own individual life, and high vibe energy is about having two individuals that are independent and you work together, and that area where you overlap in the middle is the common things that you do and for the common goal, but to respect that each person is their own individual. And some people don't like that because they are kind of secretly in their Leo energy and their fire sign energy and their Aries energy and their Sagittarius energy, kind of like it a little bit more about them. And you're supposed to put your work and effort, and that's how some people can view the world too. If I look victorious and successful in some way in the world, I got look, status, image. I look like I've gotten justice in the world. I have these things in the world that other people would want to be in a relationship with me. If you're not willing to indulge me, I'll just go find someone else who will. You've become too independent. You're too inspired within yourself. The Four of Wands is also Aries energy, which is about the self. You're inspired within yourself to be more independent and love yourself. And maybe when I got in the relationship with you or the friendship or I hired you in a job, that wasn't maybe the truth of who you were. Well, we're different at different times in our life. Who we were at age 15 and how we viewed the world and how we felt about ourselves and our limited perspective of life was different at 15 than at 25 and at 35 and at 45. And so we can be in relationships with people for a long time and it can seem to go good for a long time. But also, if someone was kind of hiding that they don't really operate from a foundation of love, that they really are a little bit more about themselves, well, they're building a foundation not on love, so why are they in it? For how it makes me look, my status, my ego, my image, I kind of like to be indulged. I am maybe more superficial and shallow. I view the Queen of Cups as Scorpio energy, and that can be a more emotionally shallow and superficial versus deep, meaningful relationships. And then if someone else comes along who has more ego, more status, more image, more attractive, seems to be willing to indulge them more, or is in kind of conflicted within themselves about being more independent and might be a more codependent energy, then they'd go get in a relationship with someone who's in that energy again, like you could have been in that energy at one point, because that is the type of relationship dynamic that they like. And we have to see the truth of that. High vibe people are looking for people who've learned how to love themselves, have learned lessons in life, are more stable and grounded and emotionally mature, and are more balanced within themselves than tipped out of balance in their more worldly egoic nature. And other people could be looking for people where, will you make it more about me? Can we make it more about these things we want to indulge in, or ego and image? And that's the type of people they want to be in a relationship with. If you communicated to someone, that you've changed, you've learned these lessons in life, you're ready to move forward in life differently, you're going on this new journey and wondering if some of those people want to go with you, some of those people will, and some of those people won't. And for some of the people, it could be they've already moved forward with other people in this type of high vibe energy. And if it's a romantic relationship, why would they get out of that romantic relationship to get in a romantic relationship with you? They could it could cause them inner conflict. Same way if you're in a romantic relationship that's high vibe and, we can meet other people, we can all be kind of tempted in our more worldly nature. It could cause people inner conflict and people can be tempted. But if people are tempered in their ego and they're in those kind of loving relationships, they're going to keep working on the relationships that they're in. For people that are kind of in a mismatched relationship, they could have more inner conflict about it because maybe they do feel that they are either they have someone indulging them or they're kind of indulging someone else. Shadowy Leo, shadowy Aries, shadowy Scorpio, shadowy Five of Wands can be people that want to be in a relationship with people, but they are kind of manipulative. It can be more for the pride and the ego and the image. Could be kind of controlling. Could be trying to get people to stay in a relationship with them because it works for them. But if it's a mismatched relationship, the loving person could have a lot of inner conflict, why ever they got in the relationship. But if they end up feeling this isn't aligned with my truth and why do I have this inner conflict, then they might do this work to figure out, why would I stay in this relationship? What is it? It's our ego that kind of tempts us to stay in something, even if it's not really aligned with our truth. But then we also have to believe in ourself, in the magician, that I am capable of, to move forward in life differently. We have to face our fears about moving forward in life differently. We are going to step out of our comfort zone. We are going to go get a new job, a new friend, quit doing certain things in our life that we've been doing. And that can all be scary. It's like unknown territory. And so some people will and some people won't. And high vibe people just wish people peace and love. I don't want to be in relationships with shadowy people. So if you're in shadowy energy, don't come towards me. I've learned to listen to my intuition. I've gained insight and wisdom from people I've known in my life that people aren't necessarily who they say they are. And if somebody wants to manifest with me, I'm going to temper my more worldly nature. I will treat them with love and respect, but I'm going to keep working on my goals and dreams until I get to know if I feel like they're really someone who's on the same page as me and motivated and inspired by truth and love and putting in work and effort, being authentic. Or are they more about their ego and their image and indulging themselves? And if they're more about themselves or the world, I'm going to keep moving on. And if they are on the same page as me, then those are the people I am going to start working with or keep working with. What's coming up for people who harness some high vibe Cancer energy that they might not see coming up? The Ace of Swords, the Strength card, the King of Cups, the Knight of Swords, and the Seven of Cups. And the reason it came out is because of the Seven of Cups. So, the Seven of Cups is Scorpio energy. High vibe people will temper their more worldly nature. Again, they'll take action in love, but also in truth. The Knight of Swords comes from the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords. I am going to speak my truth. I'm not doing illusion. I've already been in relationships with people who create an illusion. They like to be in their ego and wear a false mask. I view the King of Cups as Cancer energy. They try to present themselves as harnessing high vibe Cancer energy, that they're this loving family person, but that's not the truth of who they are. They don't really do deep, meaningful relationships. They do more superficial and shallow relationships because they present themselves as loving. The kings can represent how we present ourselves in the world, and we all present ourselves is considered masculine energy. But how do we really think and feel? And that's reflected by the feminine figures. And the Strength card can be people are operating more from their ego. And that's just a false mask they wear, still operating from their ego. And other people are like, no, I'm not doing illusion. And so there might be different, you're going to have people who harness that energy in a high vibe wanting to be in a relationship with you, because we live in a world of duality where you have free will choice. So you're going to have people who want to be in relationships with you, work with you, hire you for jobs. Some of them, other high vibe people don't want people who are creating illusion either. If you're not who you really say you are, I don't want to be in a relationship with you. If you're operating out of ego, I don't want to be in a relationship with you. If it's because you have inner conflict that you don't want to deal with, so you just want to feel better to get in a relationship, no. Have you done this work within yourself to have resolved those issues, to be independent of it, and you're kind of being authentic? And if you're not, high vibe people are going to tell people, I wish you peace, love, and joy, but I think, the relationship that we do have right now is a relationship that works for me. And I don't know that I want to do anything differently with it. I think you're just going to speak your truth. And if people try to manipulate you, sometimes people can try to do things, again, I don't remember if I mentioned it, where, yeah, they turn their back to you because secretly they're trying to manipulate you. Oh, I bet they won't keep loving and believing in themselves. Oh, I bet they want to really be in a relationship with me. They're a loving person. I bet they'll come back and do the relationship my way. And some people are realizing that you're standing up for yourself. And if people turn your back to you, you see the truth of it. Either you don't want to be in a relationship with me or you're trying to manipulate me. And I'm not, if I spoke my truth in love, then I'm moving on my way. I'm not going to be chasing after people. My dream isn't codependent on a certain person being in my life. It's having people who are inspired by the same things I am. And if you're not putting in work and effort with me to work together with me to bring this dream into reality, then apparently we're not on the same page. So, what's coming up for the people who might harness a more worldly, shadowy Cancer energy that they don't see coming up? The Emperor, the Four of Swords, and the Knight of Pentacles. And the reason is because of the Ace of Cups. So the Emperor is also Aries energy. So the King of Wands, well, I view these as Leo. I view this as King of Wands, Aries, and this is Aries. But some people it could be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But, when people act in ways that cause conflict and fighting in a relationship secretly, competitive energy in a relationship, why would they do that? Loving people don't want you to have inner conflict. Loving people aren't trying to get you in your competitive nature, in your egoic nature. The moon can talk about your fearful nature. But there are people in the world who try to do that in relationships. They're not doing what I want. I don't like that they're more independent of me. I don't like that they kind of love and believe in themselves. I'm going to try to do some things to try to manipulate them, to get them in these shadowy energies so that they'll come back and kind of indulge me in the shadowy way of being because they love me. And eventually people see the truth. I've been offering you love to try to get you to decide to deal with the truth and to heal. The Four of Swords, Libra energy, meditating on the truth to heal from past pain and heartbreak so that we can move forward in the Knight of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, and Virgo energy. That we see the truth of these things that manipulate us, that get us up in our head, get us up in our fear, make us be bossy or controlling or jealous or envious. Would you please do this work to free yourself from those things? Work through it. Get to the truth of it. Do you think you're lovable? Is it hard for you to believe that I could love you? Is that why you act that way? Well, why do you feel it's hard to believe to love yourself? And work through it. Get to the truth of it so we can be free of it. But eventually, people just offer them a cup of love and decide the only person they can change is themselves. The fives in tarot can talk about change. The only people I can change is myself. I've offered people love and encouragement, and I just have to accept that some people don't want to change. If they wanted to live their life differently, they would. So then, I've seen the truth. I'm no longer in denial of the truth. What I'm driven and motivated by and how I want to live my life and what I think is just and fair and how you want to live your life, what you're driven and motivated by and what you think is just and fair, our truth is different. And I'm going to go find the people in the world who are more on the same page as me. And, some of the kind of more manipulative or full of themselves people or whatever could be surprised because they never thought someone would maybe become more independent of them. Again, because they have all these things that manipulate them that they never become independent of. So they didn't think other people would become independent of those things, that other people would work through their fears and insecurities to stand up for themselves and speak their truth and get out of more codependent energy and be feel stable and grounded and emotionally stable, like just within themselves. And other people don't. They need all these other people in their life to, I don't know, boost their ego, validate their worth and value, prop them up in their ego or something. And other people work through those issues to be free of it. So they are, we have the King of Swords, the King of Wands, the King of Cups, and the Knight of Pentacles is headed towards the King of Pentacles. And right now, some people that other people have already gotten out of relationships with and workplaces, the same thing could be happening again, because if those people are unwilling to deal with the truth, they never change. They haven't gained insight into, maybe I'm immature, maybe I'm manipulative, maybe I'm bossy, maybe I'm egotistical, maybe I have a lot of fears and insecurities I don't deal with. And because they never deal with them, they haven't learned, it still manipulates them. And they keep repeating those same patterns over and over and over. And they could have more people leaving a relationship with them. But there's always going to be other people who move forward with them in relationships too, because they also view life that way. We have our dualistic nature, and we probably have people in our life who are loving and nurturing and encouraging. We can have other people in our life who might try to get us and keep us in our more immature or impulsive or prideful or defensive nature, or caught up in our ego or more materialistic nature. And we can have these different people that we align with in our life that we can be friends with, but who are kind of the people that we're more on the same page with when it comes down to it. And they're going to have other people who want to move forward in a relationship with them. If it's another loving person, the same situation will play out. But eventually they might get in a relationship with someone who's like them. Someone else who's more about themselves, thinks it's just and fair to live more from their mind than their heart, to make their life more about money and materialism and status and image, or just want to be in a relationship. The King and Queen of Pentacles is the married suits of the deck. And they're willing to offer them a cup of love to get to be in a relationship with them. I'm motivated and inspired by these things too. This is where I'm at in my life. We seem to be on the same page. Let's live our life like that. And we've all kind of been at all these different places of learning lessons in life, and they have the free will to live their life that way. And some of them are going to do that. Everybody does what they think is just and fair at any stage of their life, and there's awful people in the world too that are stealing and robbing and killing people because they think it's just and fair. We all justify why we do what we do. It's just that some people haven't even been awakened to the fact that they are, to the degree that they could be manipulated by their fear, their insecurity, their prideful nature, their controlling nature. Why aren't they letting love and intuition guide them? Because that might mean they'd have to speak their truth, and that could be what stops them. Maybe I did do something before and I tried to hide it, is what the moon can be. I'm trying to confuse people about the truth of what could have happened in my life at some point in time. And if I were to want to really go live my life authentically, maybe I'd have to speak the truth about something that I didn't speak the truth about before. And that can be enough to make some people not do it. I'm just, even though it could cause me some inner conflict, I'm going to keep going with the illusion. I'm not going to tell the truth. And I'm just going to live my life the way I live it. And that would be our ego making us live our life like that, right? High vibe people have gotten out of their pride and ego. I don't have a problem admitting I was a fallible human being who could have been immature, prideful, bossy, controlling, overindulging or whatever, I learn lessons from it. And when I learn lessons from it, sometimes you got to hit rock bottom to see the truth. And I saw the truth and it set me free. I have now become independent of it. I have kind of connected in, and it forced me to learn to love myself. So there's no shame in it. I freed myself. And yeah, could I have really driven my road life off into the ditch? Yeah. Everybody's got their own journey. Not everybody's life's going to be picture perfect. Some people are very worried about seeming picture perfect, so they're not willing to admit they're fallible human beings who made mistakes. So then they hide the truth and keep living maybe what's not their truth, and could be kind of jealous and envious of other people who did. And I think the high vibe people, from 1 cup to 7 of cups is the 6 of cups. The 6 of cups can talk about reconciling yourself with the past. The high vibe people have reconciled themselves with the past. They freed themselves of it. Those things that used to, some of the things, not all the things, but some of the things that maybe used to manipulate them in their past, they've come to terms with it and they're ready to have this new beginning. The other people might have a lot more lessons to learn than some other people, or they haven't reconciled themselves to the past and they're going to keep repeating this pattern until they are willing to deal with the truth. And some may never deal with the truth. So there you go, Cancer energy. I think people are going to come together in relationships with people and workplaces and friendships with the people that is aligned with their truth of what they think is just and fair, based on kind of what motivates and inspires them. I think loving people will come together with more loving people. The more worldly people it might be more about indulgence in ego, or them being indulged, or them indulging someone else for those things of the world. So there you go, Cancer. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.